Hi guys. Today we're starting the second half of chapter 2. We will be continuing to solve equations in this half. For today's lesson, we're going to learn about how to solve equations when they have a variable on the left side and the right side of the equation. Just like in our first half of chapter 2, we will start these problems by drawing a nice red line going right through the equal sign. Again, this guarantees that we can very easily see what is considered to be the left side and what is considered to be the right side. In this problem, we have two variables, but one of them is on the left and the other one is on the right. The first thing I want to do is I want to get both of my variables onto the same side of the equal sign so that I can combine them together. It does not matter which variable you move first. I have a personal preference. I like to move the smaller of the variables. That way, when I'm done moving it, I can be guaranteed to have a positive variable. So in this problem, given the choice between moving a 5x and a 2x, I'm going to choose to move the 2x. Since it's a positive 2x, if I want to move it to the other side, I need to do the opposite, which would be a negative 2x. On the right-hand side, 2 minus 2 is 0, so now I will have 0 x's on this side, so I don't even need to write the letter x anymore. Notice on the left-hand side that I lined up my like terms. I stacked my x's on top of each other, and 5 minus 2 gives me a 3x. From here, we can do what we learned in the first half of chapter 2. So we can subtract the 2 from both sides. And we can finish up the problem by dividing by 3. My final answer should be x equals 4. Just like in the first half of this chapter, you are able to check your work. You would check it by plugging it back in to the original problem. And then you would use your order of operations to simplify each side individually and see if you get the same answer. Make sure that you're plugging in the number 4 everywhere that you see the letter x. And I get 22 equals 22. And so 4 is definitely the right answer. Especially when we're getting into these more complicated problems that have more steps, it's really important to check your answers so that you make sure that you are getting the right answer. The more steps a problem has, the more places there are where you could potentially make a mistake. Let's try another one together. Again, I'm going to go ahead and draw that red line going straight through the equal sign so I can very clearly see my left side and my right side. In this problem, since there are parentheses, I will start by distributing. Whenever you see parentheses, your first step is to distribute. On the left side, I will distribute by 2, and on the right side, I will distribute by 3. From here, I can do the same concept as the previous problem. I'm going to choose to move my letters together. You can move whichever letter you want. Again, my personal preference is to move the smaller letter so that after it's been moved, my variable will stay positive. Makes it a little bit easier to work with when we have positive numbers. Given the choice, I'm going to choose to move the 3x. So I'm going to subtract 3x on both sides. Again, notice how I lined up my like terms. And I wrote it once on the left and once on the right, once on each side of that red line. From here, we have a two-step equation where we start by moving our adding and subtracting, and we finish up by moving our multiplying and dividing. The final answer to this question, I think, is x equals 5. Just to make sure, you should plug the 5 back in to the original question. Now, don't plug it into a problem after you've already started doing work because you might have already made a mistake. What if you forgot to do 2 times 1? You wrote a 1 here. So make sure that you're always plugging it back into the original problem. I'm going to let you guys do that on your own to make sure that I didn't make any mistakes. This is the end of our first video. You can go ahead and start your homework after this video. There will be one more video where we recap the steps and we do one more problem. It's a little bit more difficult.